What's up, y'all? It's Chef BoyAD, and here today I'm gonna cook up a little something, show you a little recipe of mine, personal favorite, a good hit for the football season on Sundays, you know. Buffalo chicken dip, a classic, man. And you know, you just can't go wrong with this dish if you're with some friends and y'all are snacking down on them. It's fantastic food, man, fantastic food. So we're out here today. So just to get you all set today, you can see a good amount of spices and such that are here, and we'll get to those in just a little bit. But just as a basis to start off, you're gonna need some cream cheese, of course. That's the base of your buffalo chicken dip. Some Mexican style blend, fantastic. Monterey, medium cheddar, queso quesadilla, and asadero cheese. Cannot go wrong with a blend like that. And just, you know, it adds that nice color of the mix of the white and the gold. When it melts, it's fantastic. Exactly what you need. So, just to get you a little more into the situation right here. This is something I've done previously. I've had this going for a little bit before I had it set for this video right now. And we had some chicken cooking in a crock pot. This is one of my favorite ways to cook chicken because it cooks it so slowly and it's hands off. You really don't have to do anything. We just poured a little bit of this vegetable stock in, but if you have some chicken stock, that works even better. And just, you know, just really fill the whole crock pot with it and just throw about I want to say about 2 pounds of chicken, I want to say. I'm not sure. So I have about 6 cups of chicken cooking, which are like 2 large breasts, like 2 very large breasts. So, you know, you just measure that out yourself, about 6 cups of chicken. And I've had this going in my slow cooker for about 4 hours now on medium heat. And it's nice and tender. That's why it's my favorite way to cook it in a slow cooker, because it's nice and tender, easy to pull apart. I'm really only going to use these 2 forks right here. You don't even need a knife or anything to dice it up. I'm just going to use these 2 forks and just really claw it apart and get those that chicken breast into nice small tenders. And another option you have if you just don't want to cook the chicken, or if you don't have the breast up front, you can always go and get rotisserie chicken at the normal supermarket. And that works completely fine. You're going to do the same process I'm doing right now. You're going to cut little pieces of chicken off of the bone of the rotisserie chicken. And you're going to put this on your cutting board right here. Let me clear this up for y'all. And I'm just going to take these 2 forks right here, right? And I'm just going to start to claw. And you can see how easy that just falls apart. I know, you're just an average college kid, I'm an average college kid. We do that nice and easy stuff. We don't have all those fancy utensils, any of those fancy tools. Out here working with forks, simple sharp knife, some spatulas here and there, and the basic tools we need to make this buffalo chicken dip. So I got one last breast that I gotta dice up. Back at it with the buffalo chicken dip, where I've transferred from this bowl to my big mixing bowl, where I'm gonna actually, you know, mix all my buffalo chicken dip together. Now, as I said before, you know, I basically use the bare minimum necessary to make my stuff. And I'm gonna let you guys know right now, the secret to really blending and mixing your food is using your hands. I know it sounds nitty gritty and dirty, and as long as you wash your hands and keep them clean, there's nothing to be afraid of. And you really get to feel the texture of the food and make sure everything is blended nicely, you know? So up here, we got this all pulled together, right? This was 6 cups of chicken exactly. Now here is a big 3-pound brick of cream cheese, and I know you're thinking 3 pounds AD, what are you doing, man? And just to let y'all know how much dip this is gonna make, if you can see this baking tray right here, it's gonna fill up the whole thing, and that's a nice serving for about even 10 to 15 people, 20 people. Can really help out a big group of people. It's very easy to make. We're gonna get right down to it. Mix it as best as you can, and really just get the chicken dispersed all throughout the cream cheese. That's the secret. Get nitty gritty with it, put your back into it. Yo, cooking is a workout sometimes, but you should be hustling in the kitchen. If you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Cause I'm out here. AD. Chef BoyAD.
Why you say it like that?
Nah, cause I know we can edit out those parts. So if I feel like going off, I'm gonna go off. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you all is to use 4 cups of Mexican blend cheese. Sometimes if you have a little bit of mozzarella, I like to mix in maybe a cup of that and then 3 cups of this. But just to start off, we're only gonna mix 2 cups in right now. And just so you all know, I really do measure just in the, like, I basically only use the 1 cup thing. And if you need to eyeball it half, 1/4, whatever, really you have to know that when you're making a dish like this, your flavor and your personal taste is what's gonna come through. If you want it to be a much spicier dish, you can get it to that level. If you want it to be a much milder dish, you can get it to that level too. But the secret to getting it to that is to taste it every step of the way. Back at it, buffalo chicken dip. Currently, we have our chicken mixed with the cream cheese, about to add our cheese in. And literally, I just used this measuring cup, just this 1 cup. And I have a half one here too. Very useful tool. You can pick it up at a dollar store or anything like that. And I highly recommend it. Because a lot of the times when you look at recipes, they tell you such different measurements like tablespoons, teaspoons, cups, pounds, all of that. And you know, you just don't want to deal with all these mixed things. I try and keep my recipes as uniform as possible using 1 thing and just measuring it throughout that. The one other thing that we're going to use for fine spices is probably a tablespoon or a teaspoon. And we're going to eyeball that because this is a pretty big dish. As I said, this is going to serve 15 to 20 people. Don't be afraid to season. Don't be afraid to throw in an extra amount of spices because when you think you've added enough spices, you've probably added too little. You should definitely add a little bit more and just really taste it every step of the way, see what's going on. I'm telling you, because this is a big dish, you don't know. So I'm just gonna can you give me a cup of water, bro? I'm like dying. Alright. Here I have 1 cup measured so far, and I'm just gonna level that off, dump that in. As I said before, we're gonna only add 2 cups right now, and we'll add 2 cups to the top as a cheese coating, and you'll see that later. Now we're gonna get to our fine spices, and we're gonna start out by adding the hot sauce first. So yeah, this is Cholula, chili garlic, and there's a bunch of other chili garlics out there. Chili garlic. Tabasco really provides that nice kick that you're gonna need. And honestly, this amount should be good. Tabasco is very spicy. Frank's Red Hot. This is just a very normal base hot sauce. Honestly, out of all the 3 hot sauces, I feel this is probably the most watery. So total between the 3, we're about to use a cup of hot sauce. Which I know you guys are thinking like, wow, this is quite a large cup. That's a lot of hot sauce, man. Like, what's wrong with you? But just look at how much food is in our bowl. And I'm telling you guys, don't be afraid to season. Really just go crazy with it, man. I'm gonna add some Cholula in there. So now we're gonna add some more spices. We're gonna use some more black pepper and some cayenne pepper. We're gonna add about 4 tablespoons of the black pepper. It's not gonna work. Yeah, let me get the other black pepper actually. Added our black pepper. Now we're gonna add some of this cayenne pepper and what did it say? 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon. I'm just gonna eye out this cayenne pepper, but it's about 1 tablespoon. A nice heavy sprinkle over the top. Now these are the exclusive ingredients here to make your dish take that extra step up. Bring it home, hit that grand slam, you know. So we have some all-purpose chicken seasoning, and it has a little bit of salt in there, so I'm not really gonna go too heavy on adding the salt, We have a lot of hot sauce, and I just feel like the black pepper is more key than the salt than you need in here. Seasoning on top. And again, this is a buffalo chicken dip. Can't go wrong with chicken seasoning. Now this adobo, this is another all-purpose seasoning. I like to sprinkle a little bit in there. It has a little bit of different taste than the other chicken seasoning. A little bit more of this chili powder. I know you guys think we added a lot of that cayenne pepper. This is even more of a kick than that, as I said. And it's gonna just bring that extra step into your dish. A little sprinkle. Not too heavy with that. Now, the cilantro is a personal touch that I like to add. It adds that nice greenery, that herb taste to the buffalo chicken dip, and it just goes, it's a nice blender. Alright, so now, time to get nitty gritty. Time to mix it all together. And again, as I said, it may not be your favorite, but you gotta use your hands, really get into it, make sure everything is mixed properly. I left this out before. I definitely want to add in some basil. As I said before, we got the cilantro. I want to add some of this basil in there too, and just really go kind of nuts with it, you know? With all these flavors that I'm showing you how to blend together, this makes you an elite chef at your house. Not only are you using the simple hot sauce and the black pepper, but we're mixing it up with the chili powder, cilantro, the basil, the all-purpose seasoning. And matter of fact, I do want to add in some lemon juice. Definitely want to add in some lemon juice. It adds a little bit more to that hot sauce and the citrus acid contrast. Whoa. Back with the lemon juice. As you know, we go heavy duty with the lemon juice. I know you're wondering why I have such big sizes of everything, but I shop at Costco and it's go big or go home at Costco. So you gotta do what you gotta do. We cook a lot here, we use a lot of stuff, so it's okay. Now I'm gonna add just a little dousing, not anything too crazy. Now, this is basically all the prep you need for this dish. It's time to get it in the dish, in the oven, cooking. Now we have the oven preheated to 425 degrees, and that's correct? What was it, 400?
Yeah.
What did I say on the recipe?
400.
Alright, put 400. Now it's time for us to put this into our baking tray and put it in the oven. So we'll just take all this out. So we have a nice, I don't want to say too thick of a layer of cheese because you don't want that cheese to overpower the rest of your buffalo chicken dip. But we have a pretty nice layer of cheese on top that's gonna not burn but almost caramelize, and it's gonna become a nice hard rock surface. Right underneath that hard rock surface is gonna be a nice layer of melted cheese with a warm buffalo chicken dip with a little bit of that kick and spice, and it's just gonna be fantastic. Everyone's gonna love it for sure. We're gonna put this in the oven for about 25 to 35 minutes, and at least the first 25 minutes, I would say, we want to put covered with the tin foil. This is gonna keep the cheese from the top from burning, but just really hitting that melted level. Now, the last couple of minutes, you want to keep an eye on it. You want to make sure that the cheese isn't burning, and you want to take off the top, and you want to make sure that the cheese is fully melted. That's when you know it's done. So when the cheese is fully melted, that's when you know it's done. And you don't have to worry about having, the buffalo chicken dip burning or overcooking or anything like that. Because really it's just getting warmer in the oven. Really what you're putting it in the oven for is to melt the cheese, get it to that level. Let's put it in the oven, guys. We're going to set a timer for about 25 minutes and then we'll come check on it again. We'll come check up on it again and we'll see how it's doing. Get back at you. We've been broiling it and you can see the cheese is nice and bubbling. We're starting to get these little black dots here. And we're getting that nice hard crust on the top. It's time for this to come out. One other thing I wanted to let you guys know that really brings this dish together is the type of chips you're going to be using. Obviously, you want to use some type of tortilla chip. But my personal favorite are these Hint of Lime right here. They just add such a nice contrast and kick to the dip. It just fits it perfectly. It's fantastic. On top of that, I would also recommend the Hint of Jalapeno. You just can't go wrong with these two flavors. They're really good. They add a nice kick as well. And if you didn't know, the kick in the buffalo chicken dip is the most important part.